Relations on the Warsaw-Kiev line must be built on historical truth. Therefore, it is necessary to carry out the exhumation and Christian burial of the victims of the Volhynia massacre. The Ukrainian side, however, has for years put an unacceptable condition in the form of the restoration of the Ukrainian Insurgent Army monument in the Subcarpathian region. Now, Prime Minister Donald Tusk has signalled that Poland is ready to make concessions. All signs point to the Podkarpacia monument. How does the past affect today's politics? Ukraine has been pushing for years for the restoration of monuments to the Ukrainian Insurgent Army on Polish soil, as Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrzej Sybiha confirmed in a recent interview. Now Prime Minister Donald Tusk has spoken of some concessions from Poland. We find a common language also and methods of joint action when it comes to the issue of the Volhynian crime. All these issues are sensitive and dramatic in our history. They require empathy on the part of Ukraine towards Poland and on the part of Poland towards Ukraine. All signs point to the restoration of the monument to the Ukrainian Insurgent Army of Mount Monastir in the Subcarpathian region. There will even be a special working group on the issue, confirmed Senate Speaker Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska. Asked about the issue this morning, Civic Platform Vice Chairman and the party's presidential candidate, Rafał Trzaskowski, avoided the topic. I would deal with Putin right now because that is the most important thing right now. Everyone agrees in this case, however, that the question was not about that. So at the next meeting, we continued to ask Rafał Trzaskowski, who began to argue that the renovation of the monument was to be agreed to by the Polish President Andrzej Duda. This declaration was made by President Duda as far as the renovations are concerned, and also this plaque, which was restored during the Law and Justice era. So ask Law and Justice politicians about it. Are you smiling, sir? One should prepare well. And again, true, good preparation is the basis. So we went on to ask where the President of Warsaw gets his information. Here is the article that I printed out especially for you. Do you see it? But do you see? Look at the article. So here's an article that says exactly that this plaque was restored in 2020. Who was in power then, remember? And on whose initiative? Please let us read for ourselves. Then let's read the Kresy.pl portal text from 2021. And indeed, the plaque on the monument in question was restored, and the president of the Ukrainian equivalent of the Institute of National Remembrance, Anton Dobrowicz, believed that the entire monument should be restored. Then let's read on. July 2023. The same Anton Dobrowicz attacks Poland for not restoring the Ukrainian Insurgent Army monument. You have to admit that the difference between the plaque and the monument is diametrical. Local residents strongly disagree with the renovation of the monument to the persecutors of their ancestors. Commemorating murderers is what I think should not be there. I simply lack words. I don't know how to describe it. A big, unbelievable mistake. This is mockery, that's all. The Civic Platform candidate, understanding what tendency prevails in the public space, simply aligned himself with it. On the other hand, if you ask me whether I am in favour of restoring Ukrainian Insurgent Army monuments, I am against it. Well, Rafał Trzaskowski needs to come to an agreement within his own party, of which he is vice chairman, as to what their position is. Karol Nawrocki, on the other hand, has no doubts about the unequivocal condemnation of the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, saying clearly, first Ukraine must account for its past, and only then may it join NATO and the European Union. Until our issues are resolved, including the exhumation of the victims of the Volyn genocide in Ukraine, I do not see a future for Ukraine in the European Union and NATO. This statement was instantly manipulated by Rafał Trzaskowski's staff. Karol Nawrocki, that is a man who was prosecuted with a Russian arrest letter for removing Soviet monuments, began to be created against all logic as a pro-Putin politician. I have a question for you, Mr. Nawrocki. Are you in favour of Ukraine being part of Russia and not part of the West? What's worse, Rafał Trzaskowski's dirty political campaign was joined by Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky, who attacked the Civic presidential candidate. Mr. Nawrocki should start practicing now, because he may have to take up arms. Poland has stood firmly behind Ukraine from the beginning. Ordinary citizens took in millions of refugees, and the state rushed in with instant humanitarian and military aid. When Poland did what it could at the beginning of the war, Germany donated 5,000 helmets after much effort.
Ukraina sobie nie poradzi bez Polski.
Ukraine cannot cope without Poland. There would not have been this visit by President Zelensky had it not been for the attitude of Poland under the united right in the first months after the full-scale Russian invasion in February 2022. Vladimir Zelensky needs to remember this every day. Experts estimate that Germany, which like Donald Tusk has managed to subjugate Vladimir Zelensky, is responsible for the Ukrainian president's rhetoric. Germany has taken a whole series of measures to influence Ukraine, and there is also the obvious question of the huge investments Germany has made to take control of Poland. It is our moral but also patriotic duty to support the struggling Ukraine, because the hunger of imperial Russia is insatiable. However, building a common future is only possible on reckoning with the past. Therefore, glorifying genocidal troops is unacceptable.